close. It's just all you need to do is push it to pop it out.
Right. Let me get the trailers ready. Trailer.
I believe you mean bumpers.
I do, actually. What do you want to put over on the right? Something that has to do with
Kenobi?
Kenobi? What about that picture from
The article?
the article? Let me open that up. All right, I'm going to take this picture right here. Here we go now. All right, just give us a second, and then we'll start the show proper like. Did I sound ghetto enough?
No.
Screw you, bro. All right. That's perfect. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. And we have 0 viewers now since I killed the feed. That's great. It seems to be the one flaw in that plan. Alright, I'm going to close all these because we don't really even need any of them, do we?
Nope. You're the flaw in that plan. Damn.
Yeah, that's super rude, bro. Super rude. Alright. That's a good pick.
Oh, you should get the screen cap ready for that Laura Dern video. The Laura Dern video under Last Jedi.
How long is that?
No, a couple minutes. She's announcing fake spoilers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nope, that's not it. I don't even know how that happened. Alright. I feel like I'm going to mute this for now, though. Remind me I did that. Is this the video?
Yes. I haven't watched it yet.
New Star Wars Last Jedi images.
Skip ad.
No, I think this is actually something else. It doesn't work. Is this it?
I think that's it.
Okay. Okay. I'll set that up as this other one. Alright. Are you ready? Alright, 1 second, people, and we'll get rolling. Rolling. Alright, I'm going to leave that like that. Okay. And I muted that. Remind me to unmute it because otherwise it's going to be bad. Okay. There were people there, and then they're gone.
No, there's 7 people there now.
Oh, really? I'm looking at the other thing. It's not showing up. Anyway, all right, people, we are going to start the show. We have a little bit of SWTOR. This is our pre-show, obviously. A little bit of SWTOR. And, yeah. Some Star Wars news, as you can see. Also, I'm going to open my bottle with my Hand of the Queen bottle opener. Epically and awesomely. My camera's a little off kilter here. Went to an old, my usual from Piachi back in the day when I first went there. Hop Rod.
I remember.
Okay. All right, let's get rolling. Where's my bumpers?
Rolling, 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 rolling. What?
And props. Okay. Ready? Volume up.
The Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Don't even know if it's so low. Hello and welcome to episode 108 of The Usual Podcast. Podcast where we discuss Star Wars The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Will. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Marshall, how are you doing?
Fine, buddy. Thanks for asking. You never asked me, so that's cool.
Well, it's because I hate you.
Anyway, we're just sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What are you drinking, buddy?
Tonight I am imbibing a Stella Artois.
Yeah, it was on sale. I bought it. It was good. I, on the other hand, am drinking. So I think I said a few weeks ago I've been working at my local pizza pub.
Yes, you have.
And when I first started going there, I don't know, 11 or 12 years ago, this is what they always had on tap. It was Hop Rod Rye from Bear Republic Brewing Company. It is a rye IPA. It is delicious, and it was also on sale, so I bought it. Hello, Dark Lord. Welcome to the chat room. So, dude, are you stoked? We have some cool Star Wars news today.
We do.
We have almost no SWTOR, by the way. But
yeah, well,
continue.
there's very little news of any kind this week. It's a really light week.
Yeah.
So I don't want to jinx it, but it should be a fairly short episode.
Yeah, we always say that, and then 2 hours later.
Well, because you just yammer on like a, gibbon.
So before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at Darth Pops on Twitter, and Will can be found at I am Will Griggs. iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, you can find us there and your favorite podcatchers and such. Like us and share us and tell your friends. We like friends.
Friends like friends.
I have friends.
Friends are friends forever.
Yeah, now you're singing. We do have the timestamps in the show notes if you want to skip past anything or jump around. We have 3 sections of the show if you are new to the show. We'll start with SWTOR, go Star Wars, and then general pop culture. We have some cool stuff for later, too. We're excited.
Jump around. Jump around. Jump up, and get down.
Wow, that's a tight pull, dude. Okay, so anyway, Will singing aside, here we are, dude. Thanks to everybody who's in the chat room. We'll do our best to keep an eye on chat. Please contribute. We love when people do that. But yeah, I don't think any other housekeeping stuff. We're just gonna pop
That's
through.
pretty much it.
I'm glad to be back on schedule. I feel like we just recorded because we kind of did.
We did.
But we got to get back on track.
We do.
So I'm excited.
Before housekeeping, I think you should check the volume on your Windows Media Player.
Why? Oh, yeah. The bumpers are really low. Hold on. Oh, it is super low. That's why.
I told you.
You going to be berating me the whole time?
You never listen to me.
Okay, here we go. Bumper time. Time for SWTOR. Let's do it.
You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you if you will only kneel.
Sweet. All right, man. So we don't have a whole lot of SWTOR. It's been pretty quiet. We are leading up to not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after. Or is it the 22nd? When's Game Update 2.4?
I think it's the 22nd.
Did I say 2.4? I meant 5.4. So anyway, we're leading up to that. So it's been pretty quiet. But I want to highlight Krillin on Radio, our friends over there, JT and Mox, their last episode 191. They had a pretty cool poll that went out about what you want beyond 5.4. Whether it be, and I'll pull it up in a minute. I decided to steal that from them and make it a discussion for us. Only because I contribute to the poll and I listen to the show, and definitely listen to that. They had some cool announcements at towards the end of their show. So if you listen to those guys, or if you haven't listened to the last episode, definitely check them out. They're awesome dudes, guildies and such. And so anyway, bottom line is we're gonna kind of bite off of their poll and just see where the conversation goes. It won't take too long, but it'll be something. Speaking of community. The community cantina at New York Comic Con has been announced.
Very cool.
And it's been announced already, but
I'm sure now they have a time and date in place.
Yeah, I don't know. It says the first article came out on the 3rd of this month, and maybe I just missed it, but either way, it's coming up in October 6th.
Yep.
I feel like we've talked about this, but anyway, 7 to 10, and that is going to be in New York at 247 West 37th Street. So anyway, space limited. Definitely check it out. I think the reason this came to my attention, I think they tweeted about it today. Excuse me. So like I said, I don't know if they solidified the time or not, but either way, it's all good. Definitely worth highlighting either way because it is a community deal. I know Jedi Zen is going.
Cool.
And because he'll be going to New York Comic Con, so hopefully maybe we can have him on the show after that to chat with us. That'd be great.
Yeah, I really want to go to Comic Con in New York.
I just want to go to New York.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, there's people throwing stuff in the chat already. Definitely, if you want to contribute to our discussion that's going to happen in a second, what do you want to see in 5.4 and beyond? And we'll pretend that Curlian Run Radio didn't already talk about this and put a poll up. But
who?
I don't know. There's this podcast, the longest running SWTOR podcast right now.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Never heard of it? Okay. Mox, JT, nothing? Nothing?
No, those guys sound familiar, but...
Interesting. Well, we'll see how it goes. Oh, they're going to be mad. It's going to be great. Okay. So did you do anything in game this week, buddy?
You know, it's the first week of school,
tell
and
me
so
about it.
I really did not get a chance. And plus, I'm having... Okay, those of you who are in our Guild Ops Twitter group saw the screen capture that I showed of my speed test at home.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was basically ashamed.
Brutal. Yeah. It was embarrassing. Really.
Yeah, so it's not even fast enough for me to play the game right now.
I know. I'm really sorry about that, buddy. But this place can be a place that you can do it.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. So is work. I mean,
yeah.
Unfortunately, I just don't have a hard drive big enough at work to have the client on.
Indeed. Yeah, it's a big game. All right, so what else? Did I do anything in game? I haven't done anything since WOG, to be honest with you. I've logged in a couple times. I was trying to clean out my inventory and a couple other things. But really, like you said, first week of school, I got students a couple days ago. So, I mean, it's just back to the grindstone, trying to find time for everything right now. But I am looking forward to WOG tomorrow night. So I'm going to stay with my Fridays. It's okay. I'm all right with that.
Sounds good.
So, in the dev tracker, really all that's really new since we recorded on Sunday is they revealed what the changes will be for Concealment Operative, Scrapper Scoundrel, and Carnage Marauder Combat Sentinel. We're not going to dive into it. It seems like minor tweaks for DPS and stuff like that. So, if you're into class changes, check it out. You probably already know if you are. So here we are. Right?
Right.
So let's take a look at the thing that another podcast may or may not have actually posted before. So I actually always try to participate in their polls. And what they do, what I like about Corellian Run Radio, and I know we're kind of, I'll keep it PC, but I know we're kind of tooting their horn right now. And they're great guys, and they're maintaining, like I said, the longest running SWTOR podcast. So it's worth tooting their horn about. But they put these polls up, and then when they record, they use that as a launch pad for their discussion, which is pretty cool. So what is the next area you hope the roadmap takes SWTOR? It was the question, right? The first was new story adventure, a new PvP war zone, new daily area planet, and a new uprising / flashpoint. So obviously new story adventure was 57%, and that won out. And the next was a PvP war zone. But are you surprised by that?
No, not at all.
Why?
Because it's Star Wars and it's all about story.
And we have and we're going to talk so much about this in a minute when we get to Star Wars section, but we love our story, and that's one of the reasons why we play SWTOR is for the story. Reason. The main reason, I mean, that's how we got into it. That's how it was sold to us, right?
Yes.
And so that makes sense that's one out. But what I want to do is kind of go away from that for a second and just kind of ask you there, buddy boy, what do you want if you want story, where do you want the story to go? And outside of story, what do you want to happen?
I'm okay with what they've been. I'm not as extreme as some people. It's like I want class specific stories and also. No, I'm cool with the. I mean, I really have never liked the name The Outlander, but I like that it's a single story that you can pick which ways you want to go, which I'm totally fine with. But I want there to be something new, right? I mean, so far it's been Revan. It's been the Emperor. It's been the Emperor's son. It's been the Emperor's daughter.
And a version of the Emperor.
Exactly. Let's go to something else.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
hell, I would love it if it was like porgs biting my ankles.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, they seem like they probably have teeth.
I know, right?
I mean, most rodent-looking creatures have teeth, right?
Yeah.
Gross teeth.
Gross teeth.
Like the gnaw kind.
I know.
Like the ones that chew through your walls. Anyway, let's move on. So, the point is I don't know, man. I'm a little torn by this. I would like more story, and I'm with you that I wish that I want it to be new. I would like another class though, honestly. And I'm on the and I don't know who was talking about this. There was a show talking about this, but EverQuest 2 did this back in the day. I know WoW has done it and there's been talk about this already, but where they have a class I guess prestige class is the way to do it, where they don't have the 0 to 50 story,
Right.
but they have the other story, right? And where you start at a higher level and stuff like that. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. I really don't know what I would want. Personally, I would like more operations too. Only because mostly that's all I've been doing.
Right.
I'd like them to finish this operation pretty quick and announce another one and get another one in the works. I don't know. I just, as far as beyond 5.4, I'd like things to be all legacy, like maybe even account wide, like we talked about last week. But that's more quality of life kind of stuff. But some people in the chat, more about ranked PvP.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week that they just now announced they just need to get their itch together with ranked PvP because I mean I don't even PvP at all, so it doesn't bother me. But I hate for the people that do play it. It's like they've been playing it now for what, like 4 weeks,
right,
and they are just now announcing the awards.
But I think the other issue too is Warlock's bringing up solo rank is so toxic and stale, and there's a lot of mercs. So basically, it's filled with the flavor of the week, right? Or the previous flavor of the month or whatever it is. And also PvP can be toxic and it's hard, especially in solo ranked. You're not bringing your squad.
No.
So you're stuck with trying to deal with people that may not be on your same level or intensity or whatever. And then there are people that get mad at you. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I have a hard time with PvP anyway, but to be honest with you, I don't know if there's any real solution to that, to be honest with you.
I don't think there is because, I mean...
outside of making the queues pop more often, which goes back to what we were talking about last week with server merges and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but I think the biggest thing about that is it boils down to what I've been saying for a couple of years is that PvP players are a very vocal minority. Mm-hmm. I mean, it shows with the...
And ops players, same thing.
Right, but just as it shows with that poll, the majority of people want more story, right? But, no matter how vocal they are, they're still... I mean, that's why you're getting, weak queue pops, because there's just not enough people playing that content.
Right. And you also...
And I'm sorry, but by being angry about it, it's not going to get more people wanting to play the content.
Well,
I mean, that's why I don't play it.
There was a stint there where I really enjoyed PvP, and I liked low PvP, and then when my tune got up high enough, I was like, I'll do level 70, and people start yelling at me. Some guy got mad at me about something. I was like, I don't need this, dude. It's too stressful.
No, I mean, all my characters are level 70, but I'm a PvP on a level of like a level 25,
right,
just because, I mean, I just don't play that. But I mean, so, like what we did with WoG, it's like it welcomed people into ops play.
Right.
There is no sort of concept like that in PvP.
Well, and that's why guilds are important. I know Redna leads the WHIP group, which is basically the WoG equivalent of PvP, which I like that idea. You get your 8 friends together and you queue up together and you play. And you don't have to worry about people on your team being mad at you, just like we do with our ops. It's like it's a lobby ops group, and that's just the way it's going to be. So I don't know. pie in the sky kind of stuff, I would still really like to see a combination of space and PvE. I would love to be like, whether it be GSF kind of thing, or people on a ship doing a thing and have to fly that somewhere, or like you see in all the movies, there's different levels of stuff going on. So you have people on the ground doing things. You have people in the atmosphere doing things. You have people in the in the battleships doing things.
Right.
And it'd be nice to kind of find a way to kind of make that happen kind of at the same time. And I don't want it to be PvP. I want it to be PvE. I want it to be like, okay, you have form your crew for the cruiser, form your crew for the fighters in the atmosphere, and your ground crew, and everybody has objectives, and it's kind of like an op, but PvE split kind of thing. More than just like you get to an instance and, okay, one group goes over here, one group goes over here, and you go to a different thing. I want it to be like, okay, some people are flying fighters. Some people are battling on a cruiser or on turrets on a cruiser. And then some people are on the ground fighting ground troops to an objective, and one has to happen for the next one to happen.
So basically, you want a real-time PvE conquest.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
No, absolutely.
That's just kind of one of those things. I just kind of want, it is Star Wars, and it's more than just, okay, we're in this one place, all of us together. It's like, when Luke was fighting the Emperor, what else was going on, right? There was, the people on Endor. There's the people that are assaulting the Death Star. You have a lot of stuff going on. So I just think that'd be kind of cool. But
yeah, no, that is definitely kind of cool. Yeah, it's like, I mean, the one that's like jumping into my mind is I think it's Navarre Coast. Is that the one where it has the 3 turrets you've got to control?
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine if you're doing that and you had a ground forces, but you also had a pilot crew,
right?
And like you could either choose to like try to take a turret, or you could choose to destroy a turret.
Okay.
And if you destroy a turret, then it's you have to get.
Are you talking PvP or PvE?
Like well, that would be PvP.
Yeah, okay.
But you can also make it PvE.
Well, I like the PvP version of it too, and people have proposed it too. Like, you have GSF going on with, like an objective-based kind of thing, like we already have. But I'd like to see it PvE, to be honest with you, where it's kind of like, you just split up the group, and maybe the groups are bigger. I don't know. Be something kind of cool. Anyway, enough pie in the sky. Anything else you want to see beyond 5.4, dude? We get some cool stuff coming.
No, I'm excited for 5.4, and just I'm hoping I can fit it into my work schedule.
Indeed. All right. So, oh man, we just got to get to this stuff. I'm super stoked about this. Okay, let's get to Star Wars. General Star Wars.
I was raised to do one thing, but I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
All right. So, let's start with the easy stuff. Okay. I just saw this today. It's a little fluff piece, but there was a nice little line in this that I thought was interesting. The title of it is George Lucas still offers advice on the Star Wars films, and obviously he really doesn't. But EW asked if Lucas stays involved, and Kathleen Kennedy said, well, not really, while noting, but he'll whisper in my ear every now and then. Usually it's something specific or important to him about Jedi training, things like that.
Yeah, which makes total sense, especially now that they're kind of leaning towards the Wills, and he's really the only one that's had it in his brain for 40 years.
Indeed. So, I mean, I think that's kind of cool that he's kind of lingering about, but obviously he's enjoying being more of a fan now as the article goes on to talk about.
Exactly.
So, but it's still in a, for lack of a better way of saying it, it's still his baby.
It is. It kind of reminds me of that. It was a Saturday Night Live skit because Bobby Moynihan plays George Lucas whenever they do it, and like it shows like them. On set for one of the new movies, and off in the wings is George Lucas, and he's like, "You guys want my advice? You want? Is there a Diet Coke around here for me to drink?"
That's awesome. All right, so the big news. We're just gonna say it
Just
right
dropped
now.
today.
Just dropped today. We thought we'd have almost nothing to talk about Star Wars wise. Last week was pretty good. We talked about the EW stuff.
Yep.
So that was pretty neat. But as of today, the next standalone anthology film is going to
2020.
be in 2020, and it's going to be
Kenobi,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
the one that we all wanted.
The one that we've been all talking about, and a lot of us, and we're not the only ones, harping on this.
No.
I mean, this is really what a lot of people have wanted. Obviously, and we have a picture up, obviously, on the side if you're looking at the deal here. But it's been confirmed that, and even the article says the fans are wishing for it, Lucasfilm teasing it, and Star Wars prequels star Ewan McGregor constantly reaffirming his commitment to reprising his role as young Obi-Wan. There's no official confirmation of McGregor returning yet, but safe to say it's something they expect.
Well, especially if they don't. I mean, it can't be an origin like young Han Solo.
No,
right? It's
no.
got to be his time on Tatooine.
And
It's got to be the book.
honestly, dude, I hope it's a version of that book.
Right.
But even if it's not, I think they need to focus. They can still use
On
you
that time period.
Yeah, they can still use, and we've been saying this forever. They can still use Ewan McGregor, and they need to, right?
Yes.
It's his time protecting Luke. What he does. I mean, there's a huge chunk of there's decades that goes by.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's there, and he needs to figure out. We need to know what's going on there, and I think that's a perfect story to tell. You
Especially
can go anywhere.
if it ties
with it.
into that Rey's his granddaughter.
Oh shoot! Maybe that's why they're doing it. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. And it says, in fact, when Lucasfilm was first acquired by Disney, we were all trying to imagine what kind of spin-off films we could have, and most of us were pretty onto this. And it says, where am I gonna go with this? Where's the last thing? Oh, it does talk about Obi-Wan showing up in Rebels, which is obviously
Right, yeah. It was awesome.
which is obviously important and pretty
Especially
cool.
with the standoff with Ian Maul.
Yeah. Oh, that's just so awesome. And Billy Elliot and the Hours director, this is what I was trying to find, Stephen Daldry, is reportedly in talks to direct.
He's a really good director, and I think he would be able to do it very well.
You think so?
Well, because any Kenobi book is going to be all about character, and his movies are all about character.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Should we speculate a little bit? Do you think it's just going to be on Tatooine? What other stories are going to weave in?
Well, I think for all the time
are there
that he
any
spent
old or new characters they're going to bring in? I mean,
well, I think it would be awesome if they actually brought in Maul.
excuse me. Yeah, they've already made that connection in Rebels,
Right. Even if you don't actually have a connection between the two, you could tie it in with Rebels where they're just on different paths.
Right.
Easily you can pull in Rebels.
You could. Yeah, that'd be a neat. Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Live action Rebels.
They bring in live action cast from Rebels. That would be
be really cool.
That would be really neat.
Maybe to find that there's a Bendu on that planet that we never knew about. Maybe,
I like those ideas.
Maybe the fact that Kenobi gets busy with the sand, people.
I actually am thinking right now about episode 1. And that face off with Maul. It would be really cool. You don't want to tell a Maul story, but it would be neat.
But it can be tangential
To kind of have that going on in the same time as the Obi-Wan story and have that kind of leading towards what happens in Rebels would be
Yes.
kind of cool. I like that idea.
Also, you could tie it into what was eventually revealed in the comic books, which is the fact that maybe the stormtroopers didn't kill Owen and Beru. It was possibly Boba Fett.
Oh, right.
And
Boba
the
Fett,
fact that Boba Fett went and got Kenobi's journal, which is canon now, so it could be him. That's how you can get some exposition out of the way, is him writing in that journal.
True. Yeah, it would be neat to kind of see some of the connections from the comics kind of make their way onto the big screen, only because I know some people are not super happy with the fact that Luke and Vader met before they,
Right.
In the comics and stuff like that. Obviously, spoilers, but the comics have been out for a while. But if they could start making some of those connections, that would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm really excited.
I mean, you obviously have to put in the Hutts at some point. And it's got to be more than just Jabba's in charge. I mean, really delve into what they really didn't do in Phantom Menace, which was really show how the Hutt gang system has control.
Yeah, how they dominate the planet.
Yeah.
And how everybody is at their whim, basically, right?
Exactly.
And I like that idea. I like bringing the Hutts. Really want them to bring in one of my favorite parts of that Kenobi novel. Kenobi novel was the Sand People aspect of
Yeah.
it. Was the fact that you get a perspective of the Sand People, and not only that, you know why that they are the way they are, and it's a really cool. Is it John Jackson Miller, correct? It's a really, if you haven't read that novel, definitely check it out, especially before this movie comes out, because it would really give you some cool ideas to where this can go. But he did a really good job of making the Sand People, humanizing the Sand
Right.
People, but at the same time making them crucial to where Kenobi is in his life when we meet him in A New
Right.
Hope, which is cool.
And honestly, the easiest crossover they can do, because the storylines, the time frames do overlap, is bring in Han.
Mm-hmm.
Han has connection to Jabba.
And it actually would make sense, right? They do the Han Solo movie. It would make sense if Han, the young Han,
Because
right?
the young Han
Homeboy
ends
comes
up
through.
Well,
Mhm.
because the young Han ends up on Tatooine at the start of A New Hope.
So the fact if they had known each other before, it wouldn't be a big deal anyway, right?
Right.
I like that, dude.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like they know each other when they meet in A New Hope,
True.
but you can have him be on the planet.
That's
and
true.
Just missing
Yeah.
connection.
There's a lot of ways they can go about this. I've only just begun to wrap my mind around this a little bit. We've been speculating for so long, and the fact that they're actually going to do it just makes me so happy. Like, I feel like I'm missing a key element of this. I think the major thing they have to focus on is keeping Luke safe and
Yes.
what he has to do in order to do that. And that Kenobi novel does a really good job of that. So that obviously has to be at the center point of it. But also, I think what also needs to be going on is, and what we haven't gotten yet in the movies, is what is going on in the universe, what's going on in the galaxy,
Right.
in the time when Luke is growing up.
Yes.
And that's the stuff that we need to fill in the gaps on. And I
Yeah,
would
we
love
need
to get
we
that.
need. I mean, for lack of a better term, we need some of the political backstory.
We do. And never thought you'd ask for that, right?
I know, right?
I want more of the politics of what's going on in the galaxy.
We don't need the Trade Federation.
No.
But I mean, this is also taking. I mean, the end.
But we're talking the Republic and the
You gotta
Empire.
remember,
Yeah.
this is all. I mean, the Han Solo movie and Rogue One are all kind of concurrent. I mean,
Right.
they're not exactly the same time frame, but they're all overlapping.
Yeah, and we need to know what's going on there, and I think that's it's a perfect time to do it with this movie. What is happening?
And honestly, kind of what they're doing with introducing older characters in the new movies, like the way at the end of Rogue One we got Vader, and it tied into a very specific, iconic scene,
Right.
right? What if the end of the Kenobi movie was when Luke shows up with R2-D2 and C-3PO?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of time to cover. There's a lot of places that can go, but it would be pretty cool to end that movie as he's walking up and does the crate dragon sound to save Luke. That'd be badass. I think that'd be
That,
sick.
or can you imagine the visual of, and this might be a little bit too cheesy, but you know the visual when Luke is with his foot up on the wall and he's looking at the dual sun. What if you see that, but from like a couple kilometers back, and Kenobi's watching him at that scene?
Oh, that'd be cool. There's a lot. Oh man, I'm still thinking about this stuff. So, any other things you want to see time frame wise? Do we need to see, what's going on with, Tarkin or anybody else at the time, or Vader or anything else, or is it just, do you think the Kenobi movie is going to bring in? Because remember, in Episode 4, what ends up happening is he meets up with Vader. Is this going to be? Are we going to see the two stories paralleling and all? I mean, that would be interesting too. Outside of Maul,
Well, it could
we
be
also have Vader going.
Yeah,
on.
it could be parallel, but I think you could do exactly what Rogue One did. You introduce a new villain that is the majority of the screen time, which
Yep.
was Orson Krennic, but you're going to tangentially bring in Tarkin and Vader,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. I like that. Somebody in the chat, I want them to show Kenobi building / repairing his lightsaber.
Also, he's going to be the one in possession of Vader's lightsaber
Yep.
this whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things, so many ways they can go with it. I wish we could just talk about this all night, but sadly, we're going to have to move on. Anything else you're thinking of before we go past this?
No, I
Anybody
think
else
it's
in the
good.
chat? Throw something out there before we get rolling here. All right, so as far as Star Wars, I just put this in here as far as Star Wars books goes. New Phasma novel. The posters are introducing 3 new characters, which is pretty cool.
I saw this as well, so if you go to my Pinterest page, and you will see the posters already on the Star Wars board.
And that's awesome. And so the characters, they say who the characters are.
I did not want to read that much. I just liked the posters, so I posted them. But I
Yeah,
didn't read.
it looks like one is in red armor.
Standing in front of the Resistance logo.
Yeah, maybe a Praetorian Guard. There's another one sitting on with a big staff in green. That looks pretty cool. And a black chick with short hair with a Republic logo behind her. So that's pretty cool too. Yeah, I don't want to dive too much into this. I'm really interested in this novel though.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Especially since we only got like 5 minutes of Phasma in the first movie.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to watch this still, or you want to skip this?
No, let's watch it.
Okay.
Okay, this is a little video that Laura Dern, who really hasn't actually been out there doing a lot of press for this movie yet, for The Last Jedi, she's out here and she does a video debunking fake spoilers for The Last Jedi. So I find this funny. And I haven't watched this yet, but I do want to see it.
Hold, please.
Hey, I'm Laura Dern from the upcoming film Star Wars The Last Jedi. Fans are dying for spoilers about this movie. Unfortunately, I can't share any. But what I can do is tell you fake plot twists that definitely won't be in Episode 8 in a segment called Fake Spoilers. It opens on Rey holding out Luke's old lightsaber out to him. After a long pause, Luke goes, "Nah, I'm good." In this one, the scrolling text at the beginning is made up entirely of emojis.
That's ridiculous.
To make the movie more acceptable for audiences, the X-Wings will now be replaced by NC-17 wings. You find out that not only is Kylo Ren the son of Han Solo, he's also the cousin of Ren from Ren and Stimpy. Mario Batali makes a cameo. Very exciting. Yeah, he's doing a morning cooking show for Wookiees called the Chewbacca. To find out what really happens in The Last Jedi, you'll just have to wait till this Christmas. I'm sure you'll remember.
Oh, that's adorable.
I thought it was funny.
No, it's good. It's like, I don't know. There's just so much out there that people are just, trying to figure out. I just think it's funny. So what else we got here?
Oh, so if you guys remember back in the day, they had the Star Wars, the role-playing game. Basically a Star Wars version of Dungeons & Dragons type role-playing.
Right.
They're re-releasing it and reviving it.
Nice. That was my consideration when we were going to start our group. There was enough Star Wars fans in our D&D group to warrant the consideration of it. But I was more familiar with fantasy and D&D, so I was like, all right, I'm going to stay with that. But I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to get a Star Wars game going.
It would be fun.
If we can get some people. It'd be fun. I don't know. I know some people that play them, and I just think that'd be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
All right, man. So we are getting out of Star Wars, and we're getting into our last section. And this is going to go super quick because we don't have a whole lot here.
No, very little.
But some drama a little bit.
A little bit.
So let's get to our last bumper and roll out, as they say. That's what the kids say.
Well, that's what Optimus Prime says.
Optimus Prime? Transformers, seriously?
Roll out.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes.
You're legends.
All right. So what do we got?
I'm going to skip this first one here because I want to reference it to Deadpool later. So
Okay, sounds good.
we'll come down. So basically, the first thing we have is Daniel Craig came out this week and announced that, yes, he will be returning to the role of 007.
This blew my mind. Homeboy was talking so much smack. He's like, I'm done.
You know they had to have backed up a Brinks truck.
Oh, they gave him so much money. And I just hope that, like, it's not obvious that he doesn't want to be there when the movie comes out.
No, and we already talked
I
about...
like his Bond, though, too.
Yeah, and we already talked about that Denis Villeneuve is one of the people being considered, but he's going to be busy with Sicario 2 and a
Right.
couple other projects, so I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But the big tragic news this week, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so, well, obviously Deadpool 2 is in production right now. And this happened yesterday,
Happened
I think?
on Monday.
Monday, a stunt woman died filming a scene in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, she was a world-class motorcycle rider, and she was doing a motorcycle stunt going down a street, and she's done this type of stunt a million times, but just somehow the tires went out from under her. She wasn't wearing a helmet because it was called for that way in the scene, which a lot of people are angry about, but we'll get to why. That's why they're stunt people, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Right.
But basically what happened is the tires went out from under her. She went flying through a plate glass window.
Yeah.
And she passed away. They shut down production for a few days, and Ryan Reynolds came out with a really nice statement.
Yeah.
But they started production again.
Yeah, and I also put a link in the show notes to Fox also issued a statement as well. Basically, typical stuff, but we were saddened by the accident that occurred on the set of Deadpool 2 this morning. Our hearts and prayers go out with the family and that kind of thing. So I have a link in the show notes to that. Yeah, man. I mean, this kind of stuff, thankfully, it happens rarely, right? But at the same time, I mean, these people, the stunt people, are why we have these blockbusters is because they're willing to put their lives and safety on the line for the stunts of the films.
Yeah, because as we saw with what happened this week with Mission Impossible 6, one of the few, one of the stars that actually is eager to do his own stunts is Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
And this is really shown in when they did Rogue Nation, MI5.
Right.
The scene where he's hanging onto the plane at the very beginning of the movie was real. That's him.
Crazy.
He was in a harness, and he was literally, the plane took off, and he was hanging off the outside of the plane.
That's insane.
That's the type of thing he did. Well, this week he was shooting a scene for MI6, which also has Henry Cavill in it.
Yeah.
And he was jumping between buildings.
Oh,
and evidently he missed his jump, and his body just slammed into the wall, and what it looks like is he severely tweaked his ankle.
Oh, God.
So it looks like MI6 production is getting shut down for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Which is really weird because, they're doing the reshoots for Justice League right now, and so the big thing was Henry Cavill.
With Cavill.
Had a
the mustache
thing going on.
We never talked about that.
No, but maybe this opens it up that he can actually shave the mustache for the rest of the pickups because he can grow that back in 6 weeks.
I feel like they maybe have already filmed him, but what we're talking about is somebody says he attempted the jump like 5 times. Oh,
yeah, he does. Tom Cruise really does like to try to do his own stunts.
Yeah,
and always has.
He's getting older though.
I mean, he learned how to drive a motorcycle for Top Gun, so he could be the one riding the motorcycle in those scenes.
Right. I find this really interesting with the Henry Cavill thing, and that's something we didn't talk about on this show.
Right.
We weren't recording when this happened, but with the reshoots with Justice League, and we'll just kind of jump around a little bit since this is all kind of connected a little bit. I guess they called him back for reshoots, but he had to keep the mustache for his part in MI6, I guess.
And it was contractually obligated.
Yeah, and so I guess they paid some odd $1 million to digitally
remove it.
Digitally remove his mustache. So when you see Justice League, I want everybody to be thinking about the mustache that they had to edit out. I think that's funny. But anyway, that aside, I mean, we're making light of something that's not.
No,
funny,
it's tragic. But this, I mean, and this goes back. I mean, remember we lost a couple of people in a helicopter crash when the filming of Twilight Zone, the movie, back in the 80s.
Right.
That's how we lost Jason Lee in The Crow.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that earlier when you were talking about this. I remember being super bummed about that, and that was kind of my first, I think, real I guess real feeling about an actor because I love The Crow. I love that movie.
Yes.
And when I found out that happened, I was like, oh my God. Like that actually.
Yeah, and this all
got to me.
kind of ties in that actors and actresses are kind of, they love attention, obviously, in a lot of aspects, but a lot of them are also adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows because...
Clearly Tom Cruise is.
Yeah, well, going back to Tom Cruise, when he filmed Days of Thunder, he got bitten by the car racing bug.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he still holds the record for the fastest track attained speed by a civilian.
Really?
Yeah, and
that guy's
but you have to
crazy.
remember that Jason Priestley from 90210
Yeah.
went on to actually race in the track circuit, and he crashed and broke his back.
Oh, really?
And he was out for a couple of years recuperating from a broken back.
But now he's in Riverdale, so. Right?
Was Jason
Priestley?
No, that's Luke Perry.
Oh, Luke Perry. Damn. You said 90210. I immediately went Luke Perry. And then I'm excited. I was talking about Riverdale with the students earlier. That show's good.
But yeah, so I mean, it kind of you get drawn into it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just it's very tragic, but it does happen.
Yeah. Well,
and that's and I hate to say, and this is small consolation to the stunt woman's family, but that's what they get paid for. They get paid to put their lives on the line for the ability of entertaining us.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just so sad. Okay, man, damn hop rod. Okay, so the last couple things that I want to talk about is Marvel related, and
yes,
really. If you were here for our trailer time show for our patrons in the beginning here, we watched the Defenders trailer, the
final
latest
Defenders
one.
trailer, because it comes out tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow, and by the time you listen to this, hopefully you've already watched all of it, because I know I will probably have most of it watched by the time we record next.
Well, I'm hoping...
How many episodes are we talking? 10?
I don't
13?
know. I know all the rest of them were 13.
They were 13, okay.
So I still have 10 more episodes of Luke Cage to watch, and then I've got Iron Fist to watch, and then I'm going to watch Defenders.
Sounds good. It's gonna take us a couple weeks probably to get through Defenders, because we are almost done with, what are we watching right now? We need to catch up on Orphan Black. We also are watching. We're almost done with Orange Is the New Black.
I'm 2 seasons behind on Orange Is the New Black.
This latest season I like better than the one before. The last one was dark.
This whole last season takes place over the course of 3 days?
Yeah, it's a riot. It's awesome. But the season before that was dark. It was
the
hard to
last
watch.
episode I saw was when they were all running into the water and they were building bunk beds.
Yeah, and so the season in between that, I think, is what you're missing.
Yeah,
because then it gets kind of gnarly. Okay, so back to Marvel. Daredevil 3 is going to begin filming in October, which is awesome, and I'm really excited. That's season 3, not Daredevil.
Right,
3,
Daredevil season
3, which I'm super excited about. I love the first 2 seasons; they're brilliant. And Jessica Jones season 2. I saw this
which is already in production.
Today, which is already in production. Somebody was on the set, Mr. David Tennant.
And you don't know, is this flashback? Is it whatever?
Yeah.
Because it's...
I'm thinking it's going to be... My thought is going to be sort of a PTSD kind of like in her head kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hallucinations. Or he somehow survived and is messing with her again. I don't know. I love David Tennant in that role. I still don't know why the wife stopped watching. I'm trying to get her to watch it again with me. But it is so
also,
good.
From what I understand is Hellcat is supposed to go full Hellcat in this season.
Nice. Can't wait for that. And already, and I saw a couple other tweets and stuff come out about Defenders. People have already seen it. And it's certified fresh, which is cool.
Right, which means all the critics are liking it.
And somebody put out, they said, 4 out of 4 and whatever scale they were rating it. So I think regardless of what you thought of Iron Fist, if you're a fan of the comics, I know I've seen Iron Fist and Luke Cage enough in the Deadpool comics to know there's a really cool connection between those two characters. I can't wait to see how that develops. And I'm more intrigued to see how all 4 of them end up together. What happens when Jessica Jones sees Luke Cage again, and how is she gonna feel when obviously he has a connection with Claire, and so I think it's just gonna be
another cool thing is
it's gonna be a lot of freaking fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun,
but also dark.
Yes, but you also have to remember that Misty Knight from Luke Cage and also the ninja girl from, I can't remember her name, from Iron Fist.
Not Elektra. Ooh, her name
Not Connie. It's
is Connie.
Is it Connie?
I think it's Connie.
Okay. Well, anyways, those two, they actually form up to do a team, and they're called the Daughters of the Dragon.
Oh, sick. Nice.
So maybe they. I mean, it's probably not touched on
Connie?
here,
I think it's Connie.
but they probably, they meet most likely, and so
Right.
they could do that for Defenders 2.
Nice.
Or for Iron Fist 2 or Luke Cage 2 or whatever.
Yeah, man. I really like. I just love these shows, and I know obviously it was a mixed bag with Iron Fist reviews, but the other 3 shows pretty much got fairly positive ratings.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if you remember, but we saw Mark Bernardin on Batman a few weeks ago.
Barely remember. Oh, Moth's coming in.
And he
Good.
talked about how he saw, I think, the first 3 or 4 episodes of the Defenders.
Yeah.
And he said 3/4 of it is fantastic. It's the Iron Fist stuff he couldn't get behind.
Yeah.
But everything I'm seeing, because I haven't watched Iron Fist yet, but everything I see, it looks entertaining.
I honestly, I liked Iron Fist. I didn't have a
But
problem.
you like the cheesy.
I do,
stuff.
and see that's the thing, and I like, over the top fight scenes, and I like, and it's just, it's typical. It's very Batman like the show.
Yeah.
It's like, rich white boy comes back to reclaim his
It's
deal.
Batman,
and,
Arrow / Iron Fist.
yeah, and people don't like people are trying to keep him from his money and his empire and blah blah blah. So I mean, I don't know. I like that kind of storytelling, but at the same time, there were a lot of boardroom scenes and stuff like that. But I liked. I told you already, but the guy who plays the storyteller in 300, the one with the that gets his eye hurt towards the end. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He plays the dad in Iron Fist.
Okay.
And he's such a good actor. And if I told you his name, you would love it. So look it up because you'll know who I'm talking about. But he plays the dad and he does it so well. And it's I think why I identify with Iron Fist, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is why. It is definitely a father trying to deal with his kids. Honestly.
Okay.
And it's a trip.
It's Colleen Wing.
Colleen, yeah. I knew it started with a C. Colleen Wing, yeah. But Homeboy is dealing with stuff. There's supernatural elements. There's the hand. I don't know. I love ninjas and I love assassins. I think that's why I liked Iron Fist. So anyway, I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Last thing while Will's looking that up, Avengers 4 started filming.
Very cool. It's
Which
about
is-
time that got started.
Yeah, which is the last piece of news there. So that's all we got, buddy. Bueller?
I'm looking it up here. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sky. I honestly, I enjoyed Iron Fist. I don't know how far you are through it, but my wife and I didn't stop watching it. So we enjoyed it. And
this guy?
she stopped watching. No, it's the other guy. She stopped watching Jessica Jones. I think that might have been just, when we were watching shows kind of thing, not because of the content. Because I think if we were to go back and watch it, she'd dig it. But Iron Fist is good. I mean, like I said, if you like ninjas, if you like a little intrigue, a little couple twists and turns and stuff, it's good. I like it. But Will is looking up. I'm just going to find the dude. Are you in the Iron Fist
Yeah.
cast? He plays Harold or whatever.
Oh, Harold Meacham.
Yeah, Meacham. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, for God's sake. After all that. Anyway, so thanks for tuning
Oh,
in.
he played Faramir in Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, okay, now I know who he is.
Yeah, anticlimactic. So thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at Darth Pops on Twitter. Will is at I'm Will Griggs. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play, so give us the positive ratings and like us and share us and all that. If you want to contribute to the show and you like what we're doing, help us out. It helps us get to conventions and pay our server fees and stuff like that. Patreon.com/theusualpodcast. If you give us $1 or $2 an episode, you will get our trailer time every week. You get the show a day, at least a day early, sometimes more. You also get blooper reels for the show when I cut out Will talking smack about me.
Also, if you want to support the show, you can also get our latest t-shirt at teespring.com/wog.
Indeed. And audibletrial.com/usualpodcast is another way to support the show as well. You get a free audiobook on us And we get $15, and you can choose from pretty much anything in the Audible library. So if you want to read a Game of Thrones novel, if you want to read a Star Wars novel, if you want to read something from Brandon Sanderson, get your money's worth, find something. What am I reading right now? Name of the Wind series. Oh my God, they're like 40 hours a piece.
Oh, jeez.
I have 20 something hours left of the second one. I would listen at 2 times speed though.
You're weird.
I am weird. So weirdness aside, let's get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, everybody make sure you guys have a fun this week.
Yeah, and we'll see you all next week. We're back on track.
Peace.
Sweet, dude. Thank you, chat room, for contributing. Yeah, Jessica Jones, dude. It's personally probably my favorite. Yeah. Jessica Jones is my favorite. That one and Daredevil are pretty neck and neck. Actually, I kind of like Jessica Jones a little bit more. To be honest with you, mostly because it's not just about the fighting; it's more about the character and dealing with love interest and alcoholism and all this other stuff. What's that? Punisher. I know, and then there's Punisher too. So, but yeah, definitely check out Jessica Jones. Watch all of them, dude. Sky, watch all of them before Defenders. Before you watch Defenders, it's important. Anyway, thank you, chat room. You guys are awesome. I'll watch it eventually for sure. Yeah, do that for sure. Do that. All right, we are going to get out of here. It's 1,000 degrees in this office, so thank you for being here, everyone, and we'll see y'all next week. Thanks.